You are listening to Supplement Source, the official podcast of the Council for Responsible Nutrition. And now your host, Jeff Ventura.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Supplement Source. My name is Jeff Ventura. I am the Vice President of Communications here at the Council for Responsible Nutrition, and I am joined today again by the fine folks from Verdure Sciences, Ajay Patel, who's their CEO, and Isabella Bucklew, who's their sustainability coordinator. And Ajay, it was good to see you at the conference, 2025 Convergence in St. Louis. Hopefully you found it informative and insightful.
Absolutely. Great meeting, very well attended from all aspects of the industry. So really excited. I was really excited to be there, and thank you for the opportunity.
Sure. So listen, I'm glad that you're on, because this is a hot topic that we don't talk about often, but it does really impact all of our members. And that, of course, is the issue of sustainability. And I'm really curious to hear specifically what you folks are doing in that space. I know you have a pretty solid program in place. So can you tell me a little bit about it? Can you walk us through sort of the beginnings of it and where you are today?
Yeah, definitely. So the company was founded, in 1997 with sustainability, traceability in mind. And over the recent years, it has developed into Verdegration, which is Verdure's company-wide sustainability platform. It encompasses everything from local sustainability initiatives at our headquarters to responsible sourcing and regenerative agriculture to emissions tracking across our global supply chain. And I have a few exciting updates from different categories of our sustainability platform that I would like to share with you today.
Sure, please.
So an initial program that we drove was with our turmeric ingredient. So we initiated these sustainable procurement programs. And over the last 7 years, specifically with turmeric, we've taken it from 5 farmers covering 7 acres to impacting roughly 600 farmers and their families, approximately 1,300 acres. It's also rainforest UEBT certified, and it has been for the last 2 years. And I'll give you a quick rundown as to what that certification is. So it's the Union for Ethical Biotrade Rainforest Alliance. It's a joint standard that promotes biodiversity conservation, sustainable land use, and ethical sourcing practices that respect human rights throughout the supply chain. And so with each of these sustainable procurement programs that I've mentioned, we've driven a variety of initiatives based off of identified areas of need or improvement that are unique per each plant. And so specific with turmeric, it's a new initiative that we have identified, and we identified it during a ground audit in 2023 when we were asking about water usage and tracking for the turmeric field. And so essentially, when starting that conversation, we identified that the local water body that the field and other fields in the local community rely upon has basically been depleting over the last couple of years just due to climate change. And so we're really excited to announce that we're going to be putting funding towards this water rejuvenation project, and it's officially going to start in December.
Well, I think, when it comes to sustainability, there's the baseline, and then there's like sort of the right way to do it, and then there's like going the extra mile. And it really seems that I'm going to ask you this question. Why is this important? Why is this important to you? I mean, I think you probably have a real personal stake in this and a story to tell about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, we're in the business of plants and botanicals and spices, and everything starts from the ground up. So when we are dealing with these really, again, impactful plant and botanicals and the ingredients that we derive from them, it's very important to ensure that we're taking care of the folks that are, starting this whole supply chain, which is the farmers, their families, the communities. So that's been really important. We also understand, like Bella mentioned, that, climate change is really impacting on the botanical space, on the herbal space. And so we need to ensure that, we are driving certain initiatives on the ground for the longevity, for the true sustainability of these plants and botanicals. So again, traceability is great, quality is great, But if you cannot ensure the true sustainability of these plants and botanicals, then at some point we're not going to have these amazing products on the market that the consumers rely on and that are really, impacting on their health. So of course, turmeric is one example. There are many others that we are also involved with. But yeah, that's really at the end of the day what is our bottom line is, okay, if we cannot have a source, a supply, a consistent supply, a quality supply of these botanicals, then we cannot deliver those benefits to the consumers.
And I think it's so interesting because I think that people forget that these things they're not made in a factory. Like, I mean, these are actual ingredients, botanicals that are they're farmed, they're harvested, and I think the American mindset is like you go into pharmacy or health food store and you buy this product or you order it online and you're not even thinking about sustainability. You're not thinking about this being a product that comes from the earth and requires water and tending to and all of the blood, sweat, and tears that goes into farming. And it's certainly you being good shepherds of what is essentially a necessary supply chain. I mean, without taking care of the source, it won't last forever. It's a finite resource.
Yeah, and we're already seeing that, right? I mean, we're already seeing struggles as demand grows for these botanicals. I mean, we've seen tremendous growth, for example, with the turmeric and a longvita, which is a result of the turmeric program that we have and the optimized sort of curcumin brand that we've marketed over the last 17 years. How do we ensure that we have supply for the next 10 and the next 20? And especially when we are positioning these ingredients globally, and especially through these regulatory barriers. So it's really exciting on one end that we are opening up these new markets, that we are impacting on consumer health in a very, very positive way. But then also the demand as a result is increasing, and we need to ensure that we can get the consistent supply.
How do you measure success? And maybe this is for Bella, but how do you measure success of a program like this? How do you know if you're doing it right?
I know personally, I would measure success just by being able to see the impact that we're having through these initiatives, through the local communities. I think
almost like the impact is almost qualitative versus quantitative. It's not necessarily doesn't amount to sales on a spreadsheet, but you just know that you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, that's at least personally why I got into this space and why I'm in the position that I'm in. But I know not everyone sees it that way.
Yeah, and I think also when you have that reciprocation from your customers that you are dependent on to indirectly fund you to drive these programs, right? I mean, if we don't have those customers, if we cannot sell these ingredients, we don't have the funding to drive these programs in a sense, right? So I think our partners, our stakeholders, them recognizing the importance of this, I think that's really, rewarding for us.
And this doesn't come, I mean, an initiative like this doesn't come without sacrifice. I think you trade something to run a program that has this kind of robustness. Has that ever been a question for you? Has there ever been a doubt that you shouldn't do it? Because I'm sure there are many companies that cut corners when it comes to sustainability and don't take as much care as it seems like you're taking with regard to the farmers and the producers, and right? I mean, there obviously you could be saving money perhaps if you didn't care so much about this issue, but you're deciding. I mean, so yeah, I'll let you just kind of tell me about that.
Yeah, so doing this 28 years, we are in this for the long term. And so there's obviously with these programs, there's nothing that happens overnight or within even a couple of years. Turmeric program has been 8 years in the making. We looked into traceability and in general sustainability, 25 years ago, even though these terms were not used in the marketplace. So yeah, I think that, it's definitely something that's not easy. For that matter, we cannot work with any and every company in our space. I mean, we have to find like-minded partners. And fortunately, there are many companies in our industry that are responsible. And that's what it boils down to is that, can we be responsible? And that's where it starts, right? So yes, I mean, it is investment intensive. It takes a long period of time, but we've seen success. And I think that that's what really motivates us to say that, okay, we may not be able to grow overnight and, like maybe some of the other companies, we are still pretty boutique and niche, but we're making a lot of headway. We are growing. We are entering markets and areas of health that haven't been tapped into in the past. And I truly believe that we are impacting on the betterment of the industry, especially as it relates to plant and botanicals and herbals. And as you know from a lot of the surveys out there, that the herbal industry is growing at a very good pace. And so when we look at this growth and we know that there are those bad players out there, we need to ensure that, hey, there's an option. Like, yes, there is a responsible party or company that can deliver these type of ingredients that hopefully can expand the market even further and not have the regulators, come in and hound us day in and day out.
Do you feel like sustainability, from a marketing perspective as well, that sustainability is worth the investment? In other words, that the consumer or that the customer is looking for products that are sustainable. And so it behooves anybody in that supply chain to do what you're doing and not only commit to it, but you're also holding yourselves accountable. I mean, you put out sustainability reports. I mean, that can't be easy. That's got to be a lot that goes into that level of transparency. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that it's definitely something that is, by no means easy. It takes a long time. There needs to be a commitment. It has to start from the top. I think that's very important, right? And especially when you have difficult times like today, times of, high tariffs, right? I mean, you have inflation, you have high labor costs, all kinds of costs are increasing. The first thing that gets slashed in terms of budgets is these type of things. And so it's very important that you have buy-in from your top management to drive those initiatives and continue to drive them even in these challenging times, because you can't like switch on and off, because then you try to come back to it. I mean, you lost that time. So you got to consistently and continuously do it. And fortunately, we've had a lot of our legacy customers and partners that actually also align, and we're actually learning from them as well. So we do, we've started doing a lot of joint programs with our customers. I mean, like life cycle assessments with our customers, and so they are coming to us and saying, hey, we buy this ingredient from you, and we'll be really interested in partnering with you. So it's not something that only we have to do it or we are doing it by ourselves. Our customers are also partnering some cases with us, which also, again, helps us tremendously.
Yeah, it's really an activity that is amplified when you have that kind of coalescence. What are we not talking about that you wanna add? This has been such a fantastic chat.
So I guess I have a few other updates I can add. So we
Sure.
mentioned key stakeholders. So in regards to certifications, we are in progress for a Fair for Life certification, as well as an organic certification for our holy basil and bacopa, which is really exciting. So it shows that our key stakeholders, they extend beyond standard manufacturing GMP compliance. They also have certifications that include ethical sourcing and supply chain integrity, such as EcoVadis. Our manufacturing partner, it holds a silver EcoVadis rating, and we currently are undergoing our first EcoVadis assessment for our headquarters, which is really exciting as well. Real big initiative there. And then speaking of our headquarters, there's a few initiatives that I can touch on that we drive through Verdure Cares, which is another facet of Verdegration in itself. It includes our sustainable partnerships, global stewardship, and social welfare. So through Verdure Cares, we've driven a variety of local initiatives at our headquarters, not only philanthropically, but through initiatives that include blood drives and adopt a street cleaning that we do annually around our headquarters. We also participate in technology drives and donations for the local schools and youth organizations, such as the Boys and Girls Club. We've been working with that organization, and they've been coming over to our headquarters and helping in our garden to grow pumpkins.
And this is in Noblesville, Indiana, for our listeners, right?
Yes, that is correct. Our headquarters is based in Noblesville, Indiana. And we also have efforts to strengthen the natural ecosystem around our headquarters. So last year, we were the grant recipient from the city of Noblesville, and we were awarded 5 native trees to enhance the tree canopy around the building. We also planted a wildflower field for pollinator habitat support, and also supports the bees that we have on our headquarters, which is another really exciting initiative. We harvest the honey, we supply that to our employees.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. We also, I mentioned we have a little small produce garden. So we have produce that we supply to our employees. And last year we were able to donate roughly 50 pounds of that produce to the local Hamilton County Food Bank, which was a really exciting initiative as well.
Well, and it just, I mean, and the importance of all of that, right, is that it really, you're living, I mean, the ethos, even at your headquarters, is you're living what you do with regard to the sustainability practice down back to the farms that you're getting
Exactly.
this right. Yeah. So that's great. Well, guys, what can I say? I mean, we're so happy to have you on our little program, and you're always welcome back anytime you have an update. We really do appreciate it. Ajay Patel and Bella Bucklew from Verdure, we thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jeff, and looking forward to coming on in the future.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate it.